Hello there. This is Cooking Right Whilst Looking Right. It's another episode. We're going to start with a beef bourguignon, which is, strangely, going to start with 10 smoked bacon rashers. We might not use all of them, but we will certainly use most of them. So now we've removed the plastic film off the top of the bacon, we need to cut it into the pieces.
Keep rolling. Keep rolling. One take.
So we really want nice and small-ish segments. Really important just to really let the knife sort of flow through the bacon so you never really feel that you're dragging it. Which is especially important when you're cutting through such a large hunk of meat, such as the entire bacon segment that we've got here. We now need to move over to a hot pan where we're going to add the entirety of the packet because this is a dish more about flavour. Obviously, it's important to make sure that the bacon doesn't burn on one side. So straight away with the heat, start mixing it around, really start churning up all these chunks of bacon. Really get the bacon going, you know? Separate everything out. So as you can see, the bacon has rendered, so it's no longer quite in its raw form. It's taken off quite a lot of the fat, which you can tell because now we've got this sort of puddle of fat, which means that the bacon is good to go because we're going to use that fat now to cook the beef. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the bacon off the heat, and we're going to place it on a paper-lined tray, or bowl, or dish, or whatever you seem to have available. So I'm going to leave it over there on the heat to make sure the fat doesn't have a problem. We're going to go in there and we're going to open up our slow cooked diced beef. Yes, you could get your own beef, and it doesn't need to be pre-diced. This is all that was in the shop across the street. So we're going to add straight to the pan of all of the bacon fat that we've currently just grated out. Now as you see, it's got this black paper. Seriously, bad idea to add that to the food. Don't do that, not worth it. Doesn't taste good, and whilst it's low in calories, it's also low in flavour. Oil, cooking, bacon, smoky smells. Very good. We need to start adding some seasoning. Which, very simple combination of salt and pepper. Back on there, don't worry about being very liberal. Go for it. A bit of pepper, a bit of salt. The salt's important. The application of salt, very important. It's a throw. It's not a place, it's a throw. It doesn't matter if you get some on the hob. It's not going anywhere. If you're very advanced, you can grind the pepper and not even look. So now what you need to do is just really make sure that every side is evenly browned. So after a few minutes have passed, you'll end up finding there's quite a lot of moisture that's come out of the beef, and it creates this thick stock basis. And when the beef is nicely browned instead of being a strong and deep red colour, that's really when you want to take it off the heat. And what you want to do is take the pan over and you want to add it very similarly to the bacon lined, paper lined plate. You really want to just remove it. The main thing here is get the majority of the beef, even if it ends up off the plate, onto here. How does it taste, Jimmy?
It's Johnny, but it tastes good.
Well, James, I think we're doing quite well. And we just need to keep adding the next level of complexity to this dish. I'll admit, putting it back on the hottest temperature my hob can handle may be a bit much. I'm going to remove it off there. However, mistakes happen. That's all the show's about. Cooking right, looking right, making mistakes, making improvements. So in here, I would say I produced a selection of vegetables, some herbs, some spices, some everything else, which is essentially a bit of parsnip, a bit of carrot, and a very well diced onion. I would say I did it. It wasn't me. It was the lovely Sous Chef James.
This is Johnny.
And we're gonna add it over to the. We're gonna add it over to the gravy mixture. I want to say gravy. It looks like gravy. It looks like a strange gravy. We're gonna add it to the gravy and we're gonna cook it through. Adding straight back to the heat. Cranking it all the way back up to 6, otherwise 6 being the hottest because, you know, time to mess around. This is a long recipe. The vegetables, which are looking extremely pleasant, they are making an amazing smell. They are reduced down wonderfully. They do smell good, can't deny it. And if that smell is anything like the finished product, even at this point, pretty happy. So we're going to move over here and we're going to add everything of this pan straight into a large roasting tin. Onions, oil, juice, everything. It's a bit of the most French wine you can find. It doesn't matter if it's French, but why not go French? It smells like wine, we're in business. Yep, I can confirm that is wine. So what we're going to do is, whilst this is going straight to the thing, social distancing everyone. Do not add wine that you've drunk out of, or glass, to something you would ever serve to anyone else that is also being socially distanced at the moment. However, we're going to add 2 full cups of this flavour. The first glass is going to go in, and as it goes in, hopefully that will deglaze the pan now, and you can tell the pan's already got to my head. We're going to increase the heat back to where it was, and we're going to add another entire glass of wine. Now we're back in the kitchen. Sous Chef James has been taking part of everything that I could be doing, but frankly, who has the time? So what I've done is I've left this beef, I've left the bacon, and they've been drying out on this paper towel. Brand unnamed, but not sponsored. So what we need to do is we need to add the meat to the rest of what is essentially a casserole dish, or a whatever you have handy that can go in the oven. And we're going to add it. Please don't add the paper, that won't help. What I want to do is we want to add them straight to here and spill most of it on the countertop. And whilst we add it all, yes, you can see immediately we've got a problem. The beef, the bacon, it doesn't have anywhere near enough liquid, but that's okay because we have a spatula. We are armed with the equipment of the kitchen. And what we need to do is we need to mix it around, really working in and making sure that all of that flavour goes to every piece of every ingredient in this meal. We are using beef stock. So we take the beef stock, we add it in. And what we're really trying to achieve here is enough beef stock so that we can just cover 90% of what we've got in the pan. Ignore the splash. That's different. That's a problem for later, you know? Cooking, problems, they exist. Just checking it for temperature. Yes, I have just burnt my face. So what we're gonna do is add in some other flavourings, because otherwise this isn't going to be the meal that we want it to be. We want that meal to be rich. So we're going to add in a spice blend that I created earlier. here is that spice plate that I created earlier. It features everything you can often find, such as minced garlic, which is fresh, some mixed herbs, some rosemary, which you may get in your front garden, and a bay leaf, and a spoon of tomato paste, which is kind of like chopped tomatoes, but slightly better. So we've got all of these, and we're going to add it to this meal, so we can just increase all the flavour counts across the board. I have absolutely no idea how to deal with the idea of adding tomato puree to a meal this big, but we shall see. Use a huge spatula, because so far it's gone so well that you've only spelt most of the ingredients. So use the big spatula, really start churning it around. We're going to add it to the oven. But I hope you think there's a lot of liquid in there, Pete. There's not going to be a lot of liquid after the cooking process. What you need to do is cover it. It needs to be in like a Dutch oven. It needs to be in some form of like roasting tin. You're right. We don't have a Dutch oven. We don't have a roasting tin. We don't have everything. What we do have is foil. Foil is close enough. Foil is the Dutch oven equivalent of success. Oh hi, so we were dealing with shallots at the time when we left, and if we weren't, that's what we were dealing with. Shallots are tiny onions which are incredibly annoying to peel and take forever to prepare. However, when they're done and they are cooked, they will be amazing. And I would invite them over to this pan over here, which is lined with garlic oil, which is produced by the Sous Chef Jimmy.
It's Johnny.
Well done, Jim. So what we're going to do is we're going to use that oil and we're going to cook these shallots. I've got about 9 shallots in there at the moment, which is essentially equivalent to about half an onion. But according to how this works, about 9 shallots is pretty good. So you want to cook it on as hot as you want, really getting them sort of goldenly crispy colours, and really cover them over. So what I'm going to do to both prevent noise and splatter. Hello, man. You need to hear that. They're cooking. You know what's going on. I've taken the liberty of producing this one into a diced form rather than the standard to save some time. So the diced form is going to go into a separate pan according to the recipe. Why would you do that? Extra washing up. Stupid. What we're going to do instead, very different. We're going to add it to the shallot pan because we need to reduce it down. We need to get all those flavours in there. And when it's all mixed in, that's going to then reduce down for 45 minutes. Really cook it through all the flavours. Really making sure that, see that? Really getting all the flavours going. We're going to do that with the beef stock, bit of mushroom, 45 minutes later. Really get it just nice and flavoursome. And it's going to be pleasant when it goes into the rest of the meal. After 3 hours in the oven, you will end up, hopefully, with something that resembles good smells and genuine delight. It may look like one of the worst soups that have ever been created. However, this right here smells unbelievable. We use the spoon, not a spatula, due to the liquidous contents. We just look at that. The meat is basically just completely shredding itself. We're going to move over. We're going to attempt to serve it. An attempt is possibly the best way I can describe it. And eventually you'll end up with this meaty, bacony, smoky, beefy, garlicky, herbaceous goodness.
Bourguignon.
This is full, slow roasted beef stock and mushroom, onion, shallot. Goodness. This stuff, unbelievable. This is one of the world's weirdest garnishes. Oniony tomato goodness.
Blame the French.
Somehow,
They came up with this.
unbelievable. The French are the reason why we've created this atrocity of delicious flavour. So, it's their fault. We're having a lovely meal. Can't really say anything other than that. You know what?
Pour the rest in the thingy.
I am not adding this. We've got so much
I
goodness.
meant like in the tray.
Not right now. It's too good already. It's too good.
I want to resign as sous chef. And make a complaint to HR. You never remember my name.
Yeah, Jim, it doesn't matter.
It's Jonathan.
It's tasty. Alright, whatever, James. Right, you'll figure it out. Carry on.
Delicious.